So, in the world of disrespecting Kobe Bryant, a lot of people have had this back and forth discussion about Kobe, Tracy Mcgrady, and Kobe's contribution at any point in time, which has then led this ongoing dialogue around this idea of who's better between T-Mac and Kobe, which there is some truth in what's being said, but unfortunately, the reason why it's disingenuous is because of the years in which we are discussing it. However, all this started a couple of days ago, really by this point a week ago, when Tracy Mcgrady made claims that you put me on those Laker teams, I'll be able to win a championship with Shaq. Which then Gil decided to take the opportunity to kind of say some things that I believe were massively disingenuous. Let's start here. I think this is where T-Mac said it.
Best player can't get out of the first round, but I get ridiculed because I can't do it. Giannis won a championship.
Time out.
He won a championship.
Hold on.
After that, he couldn't get back.
Because you know you're my brother. Here's the deal. Here's how you got ridiculed. Y'all were up 3-1 one time, and you thought y'all had it in the bag.
Can't find that.
Hold on.
Can't find.
When you went against Detroit,
Yeah.
y'all thought y'all had it in the bag.
Because we got 3-1.
You were up 3-1. So again, it was the fact that if you're good enough to be up 3-1, they expected you to close the deal. That was the only thing
Kobe's
anybody
never
ever
been up
said.
3-1?
I'm just saying. And then when
That's never been up 3-1.
But when they blew it, we
I'm just
pointed it
saying.
out.
I'm just saying.
When they blew it, we pointed it out. But we know they're great. But we pointed out you lost a 3-1 lead. I'm saying that's not saying you're not great. It's saying that the moment arrived and y'all ain't closed. That's all. It's a fact.
Okay, so a couple of things, and I don't know where he. Oh, here, this is when he said it. Let's go.
What defines greatness? Is it the championship? He said wrong. I didn't see your response, but for me, we have too many talented players that come through this league that are championship worthy. What I mean by that, if you take them off a team that is a championship quality team, replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship? Like, I've never had the opportunity.
Correct.
I felt like if I was put in that position to win a championship, I damn sure would show up and do what I do in the playoffs to elevate my team to that level. I just never had the chance, though. Do I get diminished because...
Okay, so that's where all this started from. Okay, there's a couple things we have to initiate here, and I said this in my last video. I'm gonna reiterate it again, at least this point. Do I think that if you put Tracy McGrady on one of those teams where it's Shaq and Kobe, that he would be able to win a championship with him? Yes. Do I think that he would carry? No. Carrying is ridiculous. But as I said before, the reason why Kobe's name gets thrown around in these conversations isn't because he won one championship, it's because they three-peated. And I don't think there is a single player in the NBA at that time that would have stood up to Shaq and told him, which was the truth, that you are lazy, out of shape, fat, unmotivated, and you need to get your shit together so we can go win again. And I'm willing to stand to you so much so that we can fight about it. I don't think there's a single player in the NBA at that time that would have done that. That was Shaq's team in many regards, and if it wasn't for Kobe, a lot of the team would have picked up some characteristic traits from Shaq, which would have been detrimental to them winning, and I don't think they would have ever achieved that degree of success with any other player. And these are conversations that we were having in real time. I just don't think that they're true. All the noise that we hear about Iverson and who he was as a player off the court, how dedicated he may or not have been, and to his own admission, not only did he not practice, but he himself said it, he was not Kobe. Do I believe, after winning a championship, maybe two, that Iverson and Shaq in the offseason would have gotten together and worked out and been prepared for three? Let's be f***ing serious. No. Vince Carter, no. Jason Kidd, no. A lot of those players had too passive of personalities to not stand up to Shaq. So I think the three is where Kobe's genius truly shines. But if you want to say one, fair. Carry, no. But from there is where people then spawn a bigger idea of, again, who Kobe was, because furthering Kobe's legacy and who he was as a player in comparison to the greatness conversation, fair enough, isn't the championships that he won with Shaq. It was the two that he won afterward, which is something that I don't believe that Tracy McGrady would not have been able to do. T-Mac might have gone to the finals one year, but winning a title, I don't think T-Mac would have won a title with those teams, which then prompted another discussion about McGrady's idea of not having the opportunity to win or get beyond the first round, which is factually incorrect. I made a video about this several years ago. Tracy McGrady was on the brink of getting out of the first round at bare minimum 3 times, and that's not including the Detroit Pistons series. That series against Charlotte, that series against Utah, and that series against Dallas. Those are all winnable series. And Tracy McGrady in second half, fourth quarter, and overtimes, very pivotal moments, did not show up when it matters the most. And again, these are winnable series. So when you're comparing yourself to someone like Kobe, who in multiple incidences did show up, even in series when some of his other teammates did not play to that level, such as 2008 against the San Antonio Spurs, where Pau Gasol was getting manhandled by Tim Duncan, that's a series where I don't know if Tracy McGrady would have been able to show up to get them to the next level. I don't know. I just don't know. And so then that kind of prompted a bunch of other conversations circulating around Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, and why T-Mac was a bit out of line from comparing himself to Kobe. I said this when the video first came out. T-Mac was playing a very dangerous game. A very, very dangerous game. Very dangerous one, because people was going to remind him real quick who he was in this hierarchy. Which then brought us to our good friends over at the Gilbert Arena show, man. Shout out to Gil and them, Gil and family. And apparently Gil got some nasty shit off. So let's see.
Would have won a ring if he played with the prime Shaq. So question for this couch, do you agree with T-Mac saying he would have won a ring if he played with the prime Shaq?
Shit, I would have too.
Shit, I would love to. Hey, I would love to have replaced Derek Fisher. Okay. Shit, I sit in this corner, boss man.
Win a ring as a number 2 option.
Oh no, I don't know what you talking about. We all was number 2 options.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like the whole league, that's what makes it stupid to argue. The whole league was number 2 options. If Duncan would have went there, number 2. If Dirk was there, number 2. If KG was there, everybody.
And I said this as well. The one thing I'm not going to do on this video is cap and lie to you all, because I don't think that it does anybody any justice by lying to people. Everyone, not just in the league at that time, but in NBA history outside of maybe Michael Jordan, would have been a second option to Shaq in those years, especially going in the finals against Rick Smits on his last leg and Jason Collins with the Nets. Everyone would have been, I mean, nigga talking about Wilt Chamberlain. If another center, then that's just an awkward fit. But everyone would have been a second option next to him, because if you were someone that was willing to get in front of whatever Shaq was doing, then that right there would be the definition of selfish. The fact that as much selfish talk that we give to Kobe, the fact that he didn't try to force himself in any of those 3 finals appearances when Shaq definitively had the better matchup. Yeah, prime Bron too. Prime LeBron. I saw LeBron take a backseat to D Wade. That nigga taking a backseat to Shaq. Is we talking about? He taking a backseat to Shaq.
If Duncan
You seen his stats?
Number 2.
Stats?
He didn't get out the first round.
If Duncan won a ring in 2000.
2. Number 2. Everybody was the number 2 option.
I talking about the Shaq?
Yes. Right. Everybody. He was the only player that when we're talking about guarding him, you're putting 3 to 4 people. Yeah. Like it was, if you didn't dig down on the first dribble, the person that's guarding him was pissed off. Like, come on, dog. This is what come on. You know the game plan. His first dribble, hard dig.
Would he be available?
Who?
Tracy McGrady. He was injury prone, so would he be available?
Not early, not that point in his career.
We're talking about 2000, 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
So you saying he averaged 32.
You saying what year?
The Orlando. He's talking.
Now, this is where things get odd, and this is where Gil is losing me, and a lot of people, I think, are rightfully upset about. The further away we get from the 2000 version of Shaq, 01 version of Shaq, and the closer we get to 2002, 2003, 2004, the closer we get to that stretch of years, we have a different dialogue at that point. Because at that point, it's not like that's the version of T-Mac that you're referring to, but the version of Shaq that you would have to be referring to would have to be the 2001. No one thinks that at that point in 2003 that Shaq was still the same nigga that he was in 2000. No one doesn't think that. No one. That's the reason why Kobe had to go out there in the regular season averaging 36 and 6 or some shit like that. That's the reason why Kobe had to do that. No one does not think that that's the same version of Shaq. No one does not think that. Which is the chosen people. You're right. That's what the chosen people just said is the point that I want to make, but I'm gonna allow them to also lay it out. They are picking, the problem with this conversation is that they are deciding 2000 and 2001 Kobe in that year of Shaq, but picking 03 Mcgrady and talking about no. Y'all niggas are purposely picking some of the worst years of Kobe while talking about the best version of T-Mac to get this shit off. And the fact that that's the only way that you niggas can get it off kind of proves the point. That kind of proves the point.
About the Orlando
T-Mac was that T-Mac was crazy.
Point, but I don't know. I don't think the work.
The Orlando T-Mac. He's saying if he took the Orlando T-Mac that averaged 32 and that, and you replace him and put him with Kobe, he's the same person.
Yeah, it was a point in time where T-Mac.
That's what he's talking about. He's talking about that time.
It was a point in time where T-Mac was like, we were saying it. It was like a point in time where everybody was like, oh, who's better? It was a point in time like for 2 or 3 years. That was the conversation. And Kobe,
everybody thought I was stupid when I said
never got out the first round.
He's not, dog, what are y'all talking?
We get the Orlando 32. We get that. You're not doing 32 and half.
He's not saying he won. He's saying if you're home. Are y'all two stupid niggas? But he said if you take me and put me in there, I can average 22 and win the championship. That's what he said.
Okay, so this is where niggas is getting kind of, again, shaky. So before you pop a fucking gasket, because there's something else that Gil said in the first take episode that was, again, we're blurring the lines with the years that we're talking about here. So to what Meta World Peace said, he's actually correct, and we can go back and we can find articles. But there's a point in time once Shaq was declining and he wasn't definitively the best player, that there were arguments about if Kobe and Mcgrady, who's better between the two. But the reason why that's important to highlight is because that was also the same time when niggas were starting calling, where people were starting throwing Kobe in best in the world conversations. This clip that Gil is arguing about how no one gave Kobe credit. Again, we're talking about like, he's like mixing up so many years it makes no sense.
Waiting to hear. I mean, I just want to hear what everybody has to say, and I'll respond. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what I said, personally.
It's about a team award, something that structure needs to win does not boost you in front of individual accomplishments. And when you use Kobe, which frowned upon what LeBron said, I would disagree with that.
Got you.
I would disagree with that because
I remember what I said then.
In real time, Kobe had 3 rings. Y'all wasn't treating him like a 3-ring player. You was treating him like a sidekick. He was considered a sidekick. He was considered a Robin. He was considered the next Pippen. In 2002, with 3 rings.
That is factually incorrect. Gil had me with some of what he's saying, but as soon as he said the next Pippen, that was factually incorrect. No one did not think of Kobe as a next Pippen in 2002, 2003. No, the they didn't. Fans didn't. Players didn't. And also, GMs didn't. No, they didn't. And now you're contradicting yourself because now if you're saying that they thought at one point T-Mac and Kobe were one-on-one like Meta just said, now you're basically saying, so you also think they were saying that Tracy was one-on-one with the next Pippen arguments? Because that wouldn't make any sense. If after Kobe had won 3 championships and they were still saying that he was the next Pippen, not in 2000, I can hear you, maybe even 2001, but by the time we get to post 3 championships, 2003, no, nigga, no. And I'll prove my point. See, I'll have facts to back what I'm saying up. We're not going to just sit up here and just be yapping. We're not gonna do that. GM poll 2003. 2003. I think that many of you all can already see what that says at the top, right there, where it says NBA GM survey 2002-2003 edition. October 9th, 2023. One, Kobe Bryant. I think y'all already see it says it already. I think y'all see it already. So this is the first year that they actually did the poll, the GM poll. And we're going to get to what the fans thought as well, so we can go ahead and knock this shit out. Who will win the 2003 finals? Overwhelmingly the Lakers. Which team has the best chance of dethroning the Lakers? Sacramento, not even San Antonio. Who will win the 2002, 2003 Most Valuable Player of the Year award? Kobe Bryant. Tied with Shaq. That's not Pippen, nigga. That's not Pippen. That's not Pippen. Josh Hart, number one fan, is right. That sounds like 1A to 1B to me. See, a lot of niggas have rewritten history about who Kobe was. Kobe was not, 2000 version of Kobe was not the same nigga in 01, 02, 03, 08. That nigga was not the same. By the time we get past 01, it is undeniably 1A, 1B. Undeniably. Atlantic Division, Central Division, Midwest, Pacific Division, okay. Most intense player, not even Ben Wallace. It's actually Alonzo Mourning. Big shout out to Alonzo. We keep going. Who was a player to most likely make a last-second shot if the game depended on it? Kobe. More than Reggie Miller, more than Michael Jordan, more than Allen Iverson. Who they thought was the best rebounder? Ben Wallace. Who do you enjoy watching the most? Kobe. Best point guard? Jason Kidd. Wasn't even close. Best shooting guard? Kobe Bryant. Wasn't even close. The fuck they thought Paul Pierce was a two guard is ridiculous. But here is where T-Mac, I'm giving the credit where credit is due. T-Mac was viewed as the best small forward in the NBA. He was. Duncan over Garnett and Shaq, not even close. Best international players you can see. You know, this is what this is. We can all see this. So I want people. GP was still getting best defender in the NBA conversations in 2003. Ridiculous. Okay, that's ridiculous. GMs thought Kobe was tied for third though as well. To be fair, though, we continue. Most versatile defender, T-Mac is right there, number 2. Tracy doesn't get enough credit for what he did defensively. Really good defender. Kobe's fourth, though. Viewed as someone who could defend 1 through 3. Pure shooter, Ray Allen. Y'all kind of get the gist. Y'all get the gist. Best athlete, Vince Carter. So someone. Oh, and this is the last one. If you were starting your franchise today and could sign any player in the NBA, who would it be? Shaq, Duncan, Kobe, tied with Mcgrady. So I'm showing you all this so y'all know at this point in time in NBA history, that is the perception of Kobe. It's not fucking Scottie Pippen. It's not. It's just not. It's not. In 2000, sure. 01, maybe. 2002 and beyond, hell no. No. But we'll continue back with this clip.
I don't know.
Kobe was averaging 30. Like Kobe was averaging 28, 20.
Yeah, 20.
The first year he averaged 22. But what he's saying, if you just put me in there and I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm the second option and I'm playing my role, shit, we can win a championship. What makes me not win a championship?
Well, you know, Shaq
he's not saying he's going to be there and do that. He's just saying, you put me there. Everybody say the same shit. Well, if you sub me with motherfucking Derek Fisher, nigga, I can win a championship with Shaq.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we do.
We don't know chemistry. We don't know that.
Goddamn.
Now, what Gil is saying is right. In 2000, a lot of people felt that way about Kobe, that anyone could play alongside Shaq and they could win. And that was kind of expedited and added something on top of that once Kobe went down with that injury. But by the time we get to like 2002, 2003, bro, like those conversations were done. Also, just in case we want to know, February 8th, 2001, who's the best player in the NBA? Thanks for choosing who you thought was the best. We received more than 6,500 emails on the subject, divided equally per player for you to check out. And there's Kobe. So again, and to be fair, there's Mcgrady. Gary Payton got a lot of love. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But I just want to be clear. Bro, in 2001, 2002, we are at a point where it's not Scottie Pippen comps anymore. We're beyond that. And that's just 01. We can go to 2002. There's another one where they did it where ESPN. Is this it? Here we go. Cast your SB vote. Best NBA player, Kobe. Tim Duncan, Garnett. Again, to be fair, T-Mac. But Kobe, without a doubt, was in these talks, in these conversations. He was not, and this is ESPYs. Previous years, Shaq, Duncan, Jordan, Hakeem. They thought Charles Barkley was the best player in 94. God, hey, I'm here to just give you the facts. I'm not saying I agree with him and I don't. Just here to give you the facts. That's it. But yeah.
We don't know that. Right now, y'all just argue. The nigga what he said to work.
Niggas with
You just want to put people next to the league.
Since y'all wasn't in the league, were you in the league then? Do you think the Orlando, the nigga that won the scoring tie, if you replaced him with Kobe, does he have a chance to win a championship?
I mean, under that scenario, probably.
Okay. Kenyon?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. The people that
Can you also set yourself in that same position?
It is one.
You was 12. Ah, damn.
I'm saying,
Your work ethic ain't like Kobe.
but you know, Shaq chose.
That shit to do with it.
He chose to go to the Lakers.
Has a lot to
So he
do
chose
He
Kobe.
averaged 20 on that team.
Yes, it does.
28
Damn,
enough.
nigga.
Yeah, it is when you got a motherfucker averaging 35 in the finals. It's more than enough.
38 one year too.
Yeah.
More than enough.
Kobe,
in the finals.
you don't ever put Kobe and T-Mac in the same
They did.
They did.
Don't.
Only for a couple years.
Hold
Hey,
on. I said it. Hold on.
It was only like
What Meta is saying is right, but it was only for a couple of years. I'm going to let y'all niggas know. Back in the day, my nigga, we used to have dumb conversations or conversations that were premature just off of the fact of saying shit. We don't have those conversations as much as we do now because niggas get too embarrassed by some dumb shit they may say. People are afraid of a gotcha moment. Back then, you could get some shit off and never show back up again. But back then, we were comparing Darren Williams to Chris Paul. I remember those convos. Looking back at it, that was dumb. That was a dumb convo. I remember when niggas was putting Amari Stoudemire and KG and Duncan convos because of points per game preference. That was dumb. I vividly remember that. I vividly remember niggas used to trash Dirk after he lost in the finals and then couldn't get out the first round as an MVP. I vividly remember that. I vividly remember that. Stephon Marbury convos and Steve Frank, like I remember these. But normally, after a year or two, one nigga would show up and be more consistent than the other, and then those convos would die. I promise you, after 03, maybe 04, but it's just a 2 to 3 year stretch when people were having this convo with Mcgrady. Hell of a stretch. Let's not ever downplay it. Hell of a stretch. But once he kept getting knocked out in the first round, and then once, because here was the excuse for Mcgrady. Oh, I don't have Grant Hill, and so he kept exceeding expectations. But once he went to Houston, those arguments are out the window. And once that nigga went to Houston and still couldn't get out the first. Yeah, and then Shaq left LA, and then we saw that nigga put 35 up. Mum's the word. That's when those convos died down. It was a 2 to 3 year stretch. Same thing that y'all niggas do, weird dumb niggas do with Dame and Curry. Well, if Dame was on that team, then you see them two niggas play, and you know the difference. You know the difference. You know the difference. You niggas can sit here and talk all that, but then you see the difference, and then those conversations die. That's what happens.
It was like 2 years.
Hold on. Hey, listen. We don't want
out of here.
Hey, I'm sorry. Hey,
y'all.
Who is these? Okay, this is where we need to be.
Oh, this
You
that
guys
show I was
wasn't
watching
there.
on
How about this? Let's try this again. You guys wasn't there, so hold on.
Right, y'all was
So
there
hold
being a
on.
fan.
So hold on.
Being a fan of who?
Hold on.
Them niggas.
You wasn't there.
Them
You
niggas.
wasn't there.
Kobe and
hey,
Shaq, being a fan.
I said it.
Fan.
Y'all said I was stupid. Can
was
you
being a
say
fan? What?
exactly again?
Everybody was there.
No, you said, hold on, so you said everybody, right?
Everybody was there in the 2000s.
You got me, hey,
It
so
was
first
only-
and foremost, you got me
it was
fucked
only
up.
three people in y'all era.
So hold
You got
on.
me
You wasn't
I can
there.
take care
You was in the middle.
first and
You
Oh, this got toxic. Whoa, this got real toxic.
was in middle school. You was in middle school. You was in high school for the 12th time. So we don't want to hear metal.
That's not true. That's not true.
Hold on. Hold on. Metal.
Bro, this is
Only
loser
fans.
talk. This is loser
Metal.
talk.
Can you tell me?
This is loser talk.
Can you tell me exactly when Kobe had 3 rings and T-Mac was doing what T-Mac was doing? What were we saying again?
In that era, it was about 3 years where everybody was saying they didn't know who was better.
3 rings. They didn't know who was better.
It was just in that point
Yeah,
in
they
time.
act like I was not there and I was not in the locker room and we was having these discussions and one was 3 rings.
Hey, the
This
thing
is
is that-
Jesus.
somebody was scoring
Right. They act like I made it up myself.
Okay, and I want to be clear. I don't think what Gil is saying is right. This is where it doesn't make any sense. If you're saying that after 3 championships, you couldn't tell the difference between Kobe and Tracy Mcgrady, then how the after 3 championships is Kobe still getting Pippen comps? That's where that shit don't make no sense to me. That don't make no fucking sense to me. That makes no sense. Because at that point, that shit is out the window. That's where you lose me. Yes, there was a blip in time in which T-Mac was hooping out of his mind, and it fooled niggas to believe that they were close. And then once Kobe, similar to T-Mac, didn't have a big next to him like Shaq, Kobe did the exact same thing that T-Mac did, if not better, while also leading the team to more wins. So no. But that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. How the can a nigga be comparable to T-Mac, the nigga who's giving you 30, leading the league and scoring 32 points per game, but also be getting Pippen comps? That makes no sense. None. Zilch. Nada.
You came up
They act like I made this shit up my fucking self.
That's fine.
It wasn't my opinion, nigga. It was a fact. He came on here and said the same thing.
That's because they said.
And y'all want to argue with the niggas that was there.
It can't
That's how y'all
be a fact. It
sound
can't be
stupid.
a fact if you don't get out the first round and do shit. Come on, man.
So how you gonna compare yourself to
you
Kobe?
can't compare yourself to
30 or 40 in those rounds.
I'm not necessarily comparing them because how I felt at that time, I felt Kobe might have had the edge personally.
82
Personally.
I might have felt Kobe had the edge, but everybody was saying.
Personally, it has nothing to do with, what'd you say? Everybody.
Yeah, I felt it personally. I feel like maybe Kobe had the edge, but everybody was saying like, yo, T-Mac is nice. That's what people were saying.
They were saying you was the best player in the league.
No, we were saying nobody said that.
What? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Nigga could be Gil, Meta, or Kenny, and none of them niggas was the best player in the league. No, nigga. No. Because when Gil was doing what he was doing, Kobe was also doing that shit in the West. He was putting up 30. Gil was putting up 30. Kobe was putting up 35. Gil would have 60. That nigga would have 81. Nobody not thinking 04 that LeBron was the best. What the are you talking about? What? No one did not think LeBron was the best player in the league in 04. Nigga, stop. Okay.
We're telling you what was.
This
This is not
Gilbert.
2016. We're talking about what was being said in real time in 2002.
2008.
We're talking about 2002.
Yeah,
what was being actually said, dog.
That nigga was averaging 29. He was third in the league in scoring.
Who? You. This nigga was averaging 32 a game, scoring, and nigga getting triple teamed. Nobody in the league was guarding T-Mac. That's what the conversation was. Y'all thought I was just capping. I'm not telling you. There was a reason Kobe was feeling some type of way.
It is amazing these days, right?
These niggas
The one thing I'll say, this is the reason why the argument of T-Mac not getting out the first round, the reason why it's not really relevant, because at that point in time, if the nigga's averaging 32, no one doesn't know if he's going to make it out the first round by the end of the playoffs. So if we're having this conversation in the middle of the season, we don't know if he's going to make it out the playoffs or not. Like we don't know what he's going to do. So I understand what they're saying, but you're using hindsight. If in real time, if T-Mac going out there dropping 32. If I get done playing Kobe and then T-Mac, and I'm like, I don't know which one. Both of these niggas gave me work. I can see someone convincing themselves saying that both of them are like equal or close to one another. I can see that. And no one does not know that T-Mac isn't going to be able to get out of the first round until he got to the playoffs and then didn't get out the first round. So I understand what they're saying, but again, I want to be clear though. I remember these convos, but as soon as he went to Houston in 2005, and then he was on a team that was good enough to win 51 games, bro, those convos then were dead. Those convos were dead. They were dead at that point because the niggas still couldn't get past the first round. They just died. After 2005, it was done. It was done. And on the surface, niggas gonna be like, ooh, Mcgrady, he went dumb. He was stupid. Looking at the numbers on the surface level. But I promise you, actually, I can just go to mine. Shout out to my brothers out there, man. Numbers on the board. Shout out to Numbers on the board. For those who remember in real time, bro, this Dallas series, that nigga never showed up in the fourth quarter. 1 for 5 in the fourth. 1 for 5 in the fourth again. 3 for 10 in the second half. He never, it was so hard to keep like seeing what this nigga was doing and just ignoring it. And this is why when we be sitting here saying how these are winnable series, this right here, game 4, this is a winnable game. Winnable game. This is a winnable game, bro. You lost this game. In the fourth quarter, 1 for 5. This is a winnable game. Nigga, you scored 16 points in the fourth quarter as a team. Winnable game. We go to the next one. Also, as a sidebar, Houston's up 2-1 in this series. Next game. Winnable. Only 3. This is only decided by 3. 3 points. Winnable game. You go out there, you shoot like shit. Fourth quarter, 2 for 5. Third quarter, 1 for 5. Second half, you shot 3 for 10, Mcgrady. And then the game 7 was such a bad blowout. It didn't really even, like, this nigga just came out there putting up bullshit. But I think even in game 6, even though they won, I don't think he played that great in game 6 either. He had 37. Okay, I think he did fine. All right, so game 6 he came through. Yeah, game 6 he came through, did his thing. But yeah, bro. Yeah, they were up 2-0 in this series, and he lost. Once Mcgrady kept doing that shit, it was like, bro, we're dead with that. We're dead. We're dead. These combos are done.
Stupid. Rather argue like
instead of listening.
You niggas will always think y'all right. You're not right. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to agree with you. I don't give a f*** what y'all. I don't have to agree.
What is your take?
No, you are wrong. You niggas stupid.
We're damn. We're game playing.
Niggas act like I gotta agree with you. You don't have to. You're not right. Shut that shit up. That's thinking on my nerves.
How about that? In 2002, from 2002, can you tell us?
Thank you.
You niggas don't have, y'all not right. Let's go.
We're not right, and we were there, and we're game planning, we're talking, we're guarding these 2 men. We're not right.
I know, he bust y'all.
Now you tell us what was being said. How about this? What was being said in 2002 then?
I think the point that's being missed is that people might have been saying this, but they were just wrong though. That's the point that needs to be put in understanding. Like people were saying it, they were just wrong. The same way that we were saying that Darren Williams and Chris Paul were close, nigga, we were just wrong. Darren Williams went to New Jersey, and then we learned how wrong we were. Chris Paul went to the Clippers, and we figured out how wrong we were. We were just wrong. We were wrong. Stoudemire and Duncan kept matching up with one another, and we started to realize, no, we're just wrong. We were wrong. We're wrong. There was a point in time when niggas thought that Clyde Drexler was getting close to MJ, and then they matched up with one another, and they're like, we were wrong. We're wrong. No, and I do, to AI, I agree with you. It's afterwards. But I think the point that Gil and Kenyon are trying to say that at that time, to validate who T-Mac was, people were comparing him to Kobe. Regardless of how wrong they were still doing that. And what Nick Young and Brandon Jennings are saying is that, well, we know what the resume was, so why are y'all doing that? But in real time, you don't know what the resume is until it gets finished. But niggas not gonna say that, like, they were just wrong. You know, that's it. They were wrong.
Since we're wrong, tell us what was being said in 2002.
I don't know. I was a Kobe fan.
I don't give a what you're talking about. If you can't get the championship,
all I know about what Kobe was doing in LA.
If you can't give me an answer then, and I ask you a fucking question, then shut the fuck up talking about it.
All I see
I'm asking you a question.
All I see
in 2002, can you tell us what was being said?
The parade, at the parade,
can you tell us? I hate you niggas that got opinions, and then you don't have an educated fucking answer.
T-Mac and Kobe. I heard Kobe at the parade.
I'm asking you an educated question.
I didn't hear, T-Mac would have been Kobe.
Educated question like a damn. In 2002, when he had 3 rings, can you tell me with your educated self what was being said about T-Mac and Kobe? Since we're wrong, what was being said?
I just heard.
I know you don't know.
Kobe and
you ain't even got that.
Nobody was talking about a nigga that lost. It was always niggas that won, Kobe or Shaq. Who's better?
So that's what you found. That's all you heard.
That's all we heard
in middle school.
That's all Kobe and Shaq win the championship.
In middle school. Now, what did you hear in 2002 as a professional basketball player playing against Kobe and T-Mac? Let's hear what you, because we know what y'all heard in middle school from the LA media.
It was definitely harder to guard Kobe personally. But collectively, I mean, it was games where T-Mac would go to work too, but when I was guarding T-Mac versus Kobe, it's a different player. You know, I mean, they had similar moves, like they both could spin right, they could fade right, they could fade left, but collectively, what people were saying, it was an era and point in time where nobody really knew at that point in time.
And one had 3 rings.
I'm not saying that, just at that point in time.
Sounded like it was a lot of haters in 2002.
Oh, no,
look at these niggas, man. Emotional. We just telling you what.
And actually, what BJ said is also correct about sound like a lot of haters. And that's the other part that I want to get to with the Kobe thing. One part of Kobe's career I'm not allowing niggas to rewrite is that, niggas didn't really there was a subsection of niggas that did not with Kobe. There was a real and that became a real thing 04, 05, 06, 07. Like it was a real subsection of people who did not fuck with Kobe. There's a reason why he went from 8 to 24. There's a reason why his whole persona changed post Shaq. There's a reason why a lot of people were very distant with him and didn't have the greatest things to say, especially when he picked up more of a leadership role in contrast to prior years. There were a lot of things that people did not like of Kobe, but I just personally, this is where, like, again, Gil is losing me because it just contradicts yourself. Regardless if people didn't like Kobe or not, and if they were comparing him to T-Mac in 2002, 3, 4, around that point in time, bro, there is no way that you can then also say that he was getting Pippen comps with 3 rings. That makes no fucking sense. That just doesn't. That does not make any sense at all.
Being talked about. I probably offended what was being talked about in 2000.
Shaq chose to LA, and then he's trying to win titles.
Yeah.
So could he have gone? I wonder if he could have gone where T-Mac was in Toronto at the time, right? No, where was T-Mac? Hold on.
No, T-Mac was in Orlando.
No, he wasn't in Orlando. He was in Toronto. He was in Toronto.
Yeah, T-Mac was in Orlando.
He could have gone where. And then T-Mac was at, if he wanted to, because Shaq chose to go.
You're right.
Because Shaq went to somewhere T-Mac was at, if he wanted to, because Shaq chose to go to LA, and then he's trying to win titles.
Yeah.
So could he have gone? I wonder if he could have gone where. T-Mac was in Toronto at the time, right? No, where was T-Mac? Hold on.
No, T-Mac was in Orlando.
No, he wasn't in Orlando. He was in Toronto. He was in Toronto.
Yeah, that was.
Maybe he's not going to go to Toronto.
Okay, you're 2009, the 2009 team, right?
The 10.
Team 2010.
Oh, no, 9 Rockets or 10
the Rockets? Yeah, 8-9.
Eight, nine.
That team was crazy.
Did y'all have, like, starting off the season, did y'all feel y'all had a chance to win?
That team was crazy. That was the deepest team I've been on. Well, when you look at that team, listen, I got there, I was playing 5 minutes. You know when you get to a team and they say you're going to play and you don't? And you're like, damn, I'm in my...
I just realized, why not just ask this nigga, because he played with both of them. Just ask this nigga who... What the fuck are we doing? Bro, we got that out of the way. Just ask this nigga. He played with both of them. He played with both. He got to see... Oh, he said Kobe's better? Oh, okay, bet. Well, there you go.
Prime, I'm 28, and I'm not playing. I'm playing 5 minutes a game. I'm like, oh, my... I was like, my career... Yo, my guy, it was difficult, right? So I'm like, one time, Coach Allen, who I love, put me in the game. It was like, I don't know, 30 seconds, like a minute. Because Shane was there. They already had chemistry. They just won 33 in a row last year. They add me, and I'm just a piece at this point. Because, you know, so then T-Mac got hurt.
Right? That's what Aaron Brooks too, right?
Aaron Brooks was there. Actually, Rafer was there, and I think Aaron came. Oh, okay. No, Kyle Lowry came. Kyle Lowry came. Yeah, we had Aaron Brooks, Scola, that hook. Man.
Scola's nice.
That team was sick, yo.
So the injuries kind of fucked that team off.
Yeah, I mean, we took the Lakers to 7 with no T-Mac.
Yeah.
With Yao broke his foot game 3, and Dikembe broke his knee, and he was 43. But keep in mind, Dikembe was averaging 10 and 10 against the Portland Trailblazers. We was a 6 seed. He was a 3 seed. Dikembe was blocking everything at the rim. You've at 43. Damn. Anything coming to the rim. You know what I mean? You gotta look at those highlights.
He was hurt?
Yes.
So Dikembe?
Some games.
Oh, T-Mac didn't play.
That's why y'all made it past the first round.
T-Mac didn't play past.
T-Mac ain't.
When T-Mac got hurt, I started. That's when I started playing. Yeah. When T-Mac got.
T-Mac didn't get out the first. When people talk about T-Mac getting out the first round, it tends to stop after 2007 because the nigga just kept not getting out the first round year after year, or maybe 08. No one doesn't hold 09 to Mcgrady's faults, because in 2009, that's the irony of it, is that's actually when they got past the first round without Mcgrady. Tough. But interesting conversation to say the least. I will say this. Yes, there was a conversation, but if there was a conversation, Gil, then how the hell could he be getting Pippen comp still if you're comparing him to a nigga that's getting 32 points per game? And do I think Mcgrady could have won a championship with Shaq? Yes. Do I think it would have been a three-peat? No. I just don't.